Hello. Librarian, I have to tell you, I don't know if you're here yet. The Lebron tweet is insane. LeBron James, scream if you love gay sex.
Do you like what you see? That's amazing. Just move it up. Suction.
Thank you, sir. You executed on my vision with 100% authenticity, and you added in a little extra sauce on top of it. That's collaboration right there. I come up with the idea. You do literally 98% of the work, including improving upon the idea. Oh, man. By the way, LeBron James, my favorite basketball player. So in creating the idea, which was 98% of the overall work, obviously, nothing against my GOAT. It's all banter. If there was like a Devin Booker shout if you love X meme, then we would be doing it with Book instead. We ain't got that kind of opportunity. What's the pattern on your shirt, bro? It's kind of fire.
It costs more because of the patterns.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
I mean, I'm just going to level with you. It either looks like Keith Haring or Vampire Weekend album cover core, or alternatively, it actually looks a little bit like Cursive Raw. I don't know if you can see it. I can get it a little bit closer. It's got a certain Cursive Rawness to it. Ivy League old money drip. I don't want to brag. It is Patagonia. When I was trying on clothes at the store, this is a real... By the way, thank you. You'll love this story, Apollo. I know you're probably leaving in a second. It's a 12-second story. I went to the department store. I was trying on some clothes, right? I got like 3 pairs of shorts, and I brought them to the clerk and was like, can I get a change room? And she was like, yeah, no problem. By the way, you know these are all swim trunks, right? Ooh. They had the liner in them, like they had the netting. But I just thought that they're constantly innovating in the realm of fabrics, right? Like, I don't know, I have workout shorts that are like, I only found out recently you're not even supposed to wear underwear with them. I've just been wearing underwear with them and they go fine. And then I read online that these are the shorts that you don't wear underwear with, like they have built-in underwear.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hey. You didn't know that there was a liner in there? You didn't notice it?
So it's, well, you're talking about the swim trunks or you're talking about the workout shorts?
The ones where they said, excuse me, sir, this netting is to hold your stuff.
That one, to be honest, I probably should have sussed it out because there was like a white net inside of the shorts.
But
the shorts, can I just say the shorts were fire, dude? They were like early 1990s, like pink and green. You know, like you might see at the, if you watched a movie about roller hockey in California set in 1991, they were like that. Why don't they make regular shorts like that instead of only putting them in swim trunks?
Can I ask the question that everyone wants to know?
Yeah.
Where were you shopping at?
It was a department store.
I understand that's a place where you buy clothing, but what was the name of the department store?
Why are you always trying to get me to... One day I'm going to get Mark David Chapman outside of my favorite haunts. And they're going to take the dude into custody and they're going to be like, how did you know where he was? And they'll be like, oh, because his friend asked him every single week what his comings and goings were. I was not at the Bay, Chad, okay? I was not at the Bay. And I was not at Nordstrom. Shows what you know. The Nordstroms in Vancouver shut down anyway.
So what did the shorts look like? You said Patagonia?
Well, I'm trying to think. You remember like the Flintstones movie that came out in the early 90s?
With Tom Goodman.
With John Goodman, yeah.
Yes.
The shorts, by the way, I didn't buy them because they were swim trunks, but I kind of wish that I did. They look like a pattern that John Goodman would have worn. Imagine the Flintstones went to the beach in that movie. They look like what Fred Flintstone's swim trunks would have looked like.
Okay, so like a lot of spots?
Yeah, the complicated patterns.
Wait, so when the lady said, hey, these are swim shorts, did you like wink? Did you nod? Did you like turn red? What did you do?
I might have turned red, but I said, "Oh, my bad."
And then was Kate with you?
No, it was just me and my toddler, which was its own adventure in and of itself.
Bro, I think you're setting the standard way too high for to-be parents out there.
Bro, what am I supposed to do? My wife's working and my daughter's home from her activity. I gotta buy some stuff. I gotta take her with me.
I know, but like for you to be able to successfully complete that is not necessarily an everyday thing.
I know, because I was in there. I was trying to try on pants in the fitting room, and she's just like ripping open the curtain every 2 seconds and trying to get me to flash my stuff to the rest of the store. So I got one hand, I'm trying to like pull up the pants, and then the other hand, I'm trying to like keep the curtain closed and stop her from like running out of the store and into traffic and stuff like that. It's a disaster, man.
Wait, you still go to bakeries, huh? Even though you're in the burbs now, you're not a city folk.
I actually, since we moved, I've become more of a local business Andrew.
Oh,
I'm ignoring Starbucks. Well, that's not true. I'm ignoring Starbucks and Tim Hortons. I am still going to McDonald's on occasion, but I'm just being honest. You can't beat the app. It's just it's unbelievable.
Are you a McDonald's points Andy? Like you build up your rewards or what?
I build them up passively when I purchase food there using the app.
And then are you drive-through or you walk in?
It depends on the circumstances, but honestly, the drive-thrus in Vancouver are like all overstuffed. So I tend to park and then go inside.
Yeah, you know, I feel like that's the go-to move. To me, even if, like, sometimes I feel like drive-through, if you order drive-through, I feel like you're breaking the drive-through protocol. Drive-through is for people who are driving through and placing the order.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Like, if you're ordering on the app, you should not go in the drive-through window. But there are people who place the order in the app and then go through the drive-through to pick it up. That's not what the drive-thru's for.
And then they have to pull into one of the special spots and...
No, they soak up a line spot while everyone else has to kind of figure out, hey, where's my spot in line? And it's like, that's not the role of the drive-through. The drive-through is created as like a spindle, like you walk through it like a needle. You can't have yarn coming through.
I understand what you're saying, but I will say it's pretty easy to find your spot in the drive-through line. You just are behind the person that's in front of you, but in front of the person that's behind you.
No, but I'm saying you're soaking up a spot that's not yours, is what I'm saying.
I mean, this is one where like I can sort of follow the logic, but I'm not sure I completely understand the problem.
Well, imagine you use the app, right?
Yeah.
And instead of walking in to get your food as intended, you jump the line.
You're not really jumping the... okay, I see, because they're putting a higher priority on your order because you're blocking people behind you.
Yes, people that haven't even ordered. You've already had the luxury of ordering, knowing that your food is cooked in there. So go in and get it.
Okay, I see your point.
Why you're just laissez-faire on it? You're just like any port in the storm?
It takes more than that to get me to hate my fellow man, I guess.
I don't hate my fellow man.
I mean, the counterpoint I would say is that like it's McDonald's. It's not that serious.
So Coke related, can I admit to you something that I think you probably may shame me for, but also you could also surprise me. So I was at the grocery store the other day. This is probably
that's my line.
Oh, about 6 months ago. And I saw, this was like before I was Coke Zero. They had like a Coke can and it was like a little bit like pixelated.
Okay, yeah.
So I bought it and it was, and chat's going to be mad at me. It was Coke created by AI. It was an AI flavored Coke. Did you ever try that?
I never saw it, honestly.
I mean, it was a limited edition.
What did it taste like? Did it taste like what if Peter Griffin was on Seinfeld?
Yeah, kind of.
Did it taste like Joe Biden versus Donald Trump infinite debate?
I don't know what that is, but yeah. Hey, do you know Mila Kunis is in Family Guy?
Yes.
I just found that out the other day because of TikTok.
She plays Meg Griffin.
But it doesn't sound like her.
It kind of sounds exactly like her. Like, I don't even think she's like acting. I think she's just like, that's what she sounds like.
But look, I'm not trying to be that guy, but if you have a picture of Meg and a picture of Mila Kunis next to each other, you're like, well, That's not how she looks
You're
when she
right.
sounds like that.
She underwent a very serious physical transformation for that role. Interesting.
But I always looked at Meg as like a whispery type voice,
Right,
but she doesn't
yeah.
sound whispery. She sounds more like Saving Sarah Marshall-y.
Savings. Well, there's a movie that she's in called Forgetting Sarah Marshall. So well, of course she sounds like that because that's her.
I know, but it just threw me for a loop. Once I saw that Mila Kunis was a voice, I didn't get it.
Did you know that Jonathan Taylor Thomas is the voice of young Simba in the Lion King movie?
No, he's not.
He is, man.
Is he like 8?
Something like that. I wouldn't lie to you about something so serious.
Wait, was he Simba before he was Tim Allen's son?
I imagine they were pretty close to the same time. Home Improvement must have started a little bit before The Lion King, if I had to guess.
What was your 12-year-old hairstyle like? Did you have spikes in the front, or what did you
Dude,
have?
100%. Well, I'll give you the saga of my hair, okay? Because it's not a long story, as you could probably guess.
Us too.
Whatever hairstyle my parents gave me until I was like age 10. So that includes like second grade, I'm pretty sure I had a mullet. And as like a toddler, I had Jonathan Taylor Thomas center part, but my forehead was so huge that I looked like an old picture of like Beethoven or something like that.
Okay.
Then from 10 to 17, lancebass.jpg.
Okay.
17, I was like, I think that the ski jump's a little played out. So I started wearing my bangs down over my forehead a little bit. Not emo style, but just kind of like...
Like we know you listen to Blink 182.
No, I'm trying to think of what a good description would be. Who's the wrestler guy who just looks like a normal guy, but everybody's like, oh, this guy's great? Hang on.
Cody Rhodes?
He's one of the...
Oh, L.A. Knight?
No.
L.A. Knight. Yeah, who?
Someone's
Is
gonna
he
say
modern?
it. He's modern-esque, and he just looks like a guy. But then whenever people talk about the guy, they're like, oh, guy!
Sami Zayn? Randy Orton?
I'm just losing it. I'm like normal guy, and people are like, oh, what about this like 6'5" guy who's 280 pounds, 2% body fat, and wears like rainbow leotards every day? No, not that guy. Not the Undertaker, not the Merchant of Evil.
Are you saying like normal guy features?
He just, I don't know how to describe it. He just looks like a normal guy. No, not Shawn Michaels.
No?
He's got a long ponytail with hearts on his pants, bro.
Chris Jericho?
Not Chris Jericho.
Those are all the normal guys.
No, he's got like his hair goes down like Jimmy Eat World a little bit.
Chad, this may be the first time northernlion trivia stumps himself.
Whoa, I think someone might have gotten it. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna lose it if I Google this guy and he
It's
does not.
If it's Bret Hart.
It's not Bret Hart, dude.
Jimmy Eat World. CM Punk?
It is Dean Ambrose. Thank you. With the Jimmy Eat World. It was kind of like that.
Okay, he is a normal. He looks like he could be a streamer. Like he plays RTS games.
There you go. Thank you, chat. You got me. And then, that was my transition from ski jump hair to bangs. But I was still using the ski jump hair gel. So it made my forehead break out like crazy. And then like a year after that, I shaved my head forever.
So how old were you when you shaved? 14?
I was 19.
I know I've asked you this a million times, but is your dad a cue ball?
No.
So you just really got. So here, I think I just figured out your genetics.
Okay.
All of your hair, all of your slider and your hair points got dumped into comedy charisma.
I could live with that.
Like, because no one's genetics are like good at everything. So I feel if you're a Fallout 4 character, our sliders hair 0, but you get a couple extra VATS points. But also a little bit of raised calves as well. So like
yeah, I hear you.
That's like like some games or some roguelikes, like every trait has like a benefit and like a little bit, you want to call it a negative. I would say like wildly funny, but character
I'm not even mad about it.
Yeah.
Bro, I've become the guy that I hate. Because I've been putting in the hours on the Peloton, not to mention these God-given calves. As soon as like April 3rd rolls around, I'm like, it's shorts till October. It's shorts till Halloween. I'm spending too much time on my legs to not be showing them off all the time. But then I go outside and I'm like, why is it so cold? And I remember, oh, this is April. We're not ready for that yet.
This is a biological question for you, and I don't know that I have fully the answer of it, but so I've been around sports a lot my whole life, and every like football player I've been around,
yeah,
they don't have hair on their ankles. And then I'm like, what about bikers? Like when you use your legs that much, will the hair just shed because of rubbing and activity, or is it a design decision?
I feel like this is a crazy question to me. I want to start so we don't get twisted. Does anybody have hair on their ankles? I don't have. I'm extremely hairy everywhere, and I don't have hair on my ankle.
There will be some. You have some.
Like the oh, I'm dead. This bird, he ganked me, dude. Like on his.
Why in chat if you have hair on your ankles?
On the ankle, like the ball of the foot.
Yeah, like around that like 30% region. Some people have ankle
follicular realm. I don't have like I'll look at it right now. Ankle.
I got some ankle hair.
I have none ankle hair. It's my hair stops above it, and then it starts again on my feet.
What about in the Achilles hole?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, but here's the thing. Maybe it's because you're a biker.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
You've been biking for like 3 years, so I think my theory, and I'm trying to figure it out, is the more active you are with one body part, the less, is particularly with your legs, the hair like works itself out of the system. Like my uncle as a kid, this was like before people lifted weights. Like my uncle lifted weights and he was like always jacked, but he never had hair on his arms.
I don't know. I
thought because you built muscle, the muscle pushes the hair out of your
arms. Right. Because your body only has a certain amount of energy to use. It's not going to waste energy building hair when it could be building muscle.
But do you ever remember, like, even say pre-Peloton, your Achilles hole having hair?
I honestly, I would feel bad choosing yes or no, because I think I would just be making it up.
Okay, that's fair.
But I think that certainly it's the kind of thing that warrants more investigation.
I mean,
you might have just blown the whole system wide open.
22% of chat said that they have ankle hair, so it's like, so then you have to look at really active people and then see if they have ankle hair.
It's crazy to me that like I don't have hair somewhere that other people have hair that isn't their head, because like that's a very atypical experience for me. I'm used to people, like, I'll talk about being hairy, and they're like, oh, no, my chest hair is so annoying. I have, like, 3 hairs on my chest, like, right in the middle. It's so gross. And I'm like, we're not even close. We're not talking about the same magnitude here.
Do you read?
Yeah, like stop signs and stuff.
No, like books. Like, when you shut her down for the night, right? So you get off the dopamine, having a couple good Balatro runs, maybe a good Jackbox segment. You sit down, you have dinner, you play with your daughter, then your daughter goes to bed, you talk to Kate for a little bit. What do you do to wind her down? Brother, it already is wound down. What do you mean? It's 8 o'clock. I go to bed at 8:30.
Well, I mean, sadly, it's like 10 o'clock. I wish it was 8 o'clock, but our child has decided that they're a night owl. Because one time I think we just mindlessly said, oh, you're a night owl like mommy. So now she's like, I don't want to go to bed. I'm a night owl. So just a good piece of wisdom. Be careful what you say at all times. What you say can and will be used against you for the rest of your life. But no, I mean, I don't want to say it because you repeated it in the nerd voice already. But once it's bedtime, I just go to bed.
So you're saying for the most part, I mean, and I know we could argue that our job is like leisure, but so you have no institutional leisure after dinner?
Yeah, it's burning me out a little bit for sure. But it's 50-50 because Kate does bedtime every other day, and I do bedtime on the other days. So
when you get that, what's your leisure?
Making thumbnails and setting my YouTube videos.
Oh man!
And that in and of itself can take 90 minutes. So then it's like 9:30, and then I brush my teeth and go to bed.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, my heart broke a little bit because like I'm fighting now for institutional leisure time.
It's hard, man.
And like, but you're making thumbnails in your leisure time, and I'm like, I would rather not have leisure time than make thumbnails.
You would rather have leisure time than make thumbnails.
No, I would rather have no leisure time than have to make thumbnails.
Yeah, but you're not presenting a dilemma. That's the situation.
No, the situation is you're taking your leisure time to make thumbnails.
Yes, but you said you would rather not have leisure time than make thumbnails, which is you're presenting the exact situation I'm living with.
No, it's not though. Stop dying to the Costco guy.
Oh, this is like an XQC versus Aiden Ross moment, but I'm like,
which one are you?
so you would rather? I'm not gonna answer that. You would rather. So I'm glad you couldn't see that. You would rather not have leisure time than have leisure time but be forced to make thumbnails.
Yes.
But I am forced to make thumbnails and I don't have leisure time. Do you see where I'm struggling here?
Yeah, like why not just don't do it?
Well, because it's my job.
Well, just have the librarian do it.
I'm like, have I told you about my philosophy of like 90s maxing?
What's 90s maxing?
90s maxing is I don't buy things on the internet anymore because I'm done with this 2020s lifestyle. Oh, I want something now? Oh, just buy it online and it'll be at your house in like 1 to 4 days at 11:15 p.m. And then get out the box cutters, break down 17 cardboard boxes just for like the 2 things that you purchased. Oh, cool, my soap's finally here. And then you're not supporting a local business, you're supporting Amazon instead, and some dude who has to make 900 deliveries every 12 seconds is like bing bong, and then you open the door a millisecond later and he's already frisbeed the package like on your front porch because if he takes more than 2 seconds to deliver it, they're gonna like dock his pay. I fell off again. I'm actually the worst Elden Ring player of all time.
Wait, so is this a bit or is this a real thing?
It's a real thing. This is how I'm living my life.
But you don't have to do any of that stuff you just did. Like instead of breaking down the box, you could just burn it.
Hang on. He's kind of spitting. But like it maybe this is tangential, but it's kind of how I feel about like YouTube as well. Like someone starts making like YouTube videos of video games because they're like, I think this will be fun, or like I'll be good at it or whatever. And then they get some success and they're like, okay, time to like outsource the entire production line completely. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, instead of spending your time making thumbnails, you got like a couple hours a week of meetings managing like your contracted staff in order to make sure that everybody's vision is on like the same alignment. I don't want to do that. I just want to make the videos.
I understand, but you have like, and I'm just gonna call it like I see it right now.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. It's a little ridiculous for one of the top 0.1 percenters on Twitch and top 5 percenters on YouTube to be setting your own videos and making your own thumbnails at this stage of the game.
Then I'll be the, this 97-year-old streamer still does things the old-fashioned way.
Well, then, buddy, when you get burnt out, then, hey, I'll throw some coals on it for you. Because I would say, look, you're cooking yourself, man.
But I honestly think it would have happened by now.
What?
The burnout. Like I was working 7 days a week, and like the work is easy, but it was also Isaac. Like 7 days a week, 4 to 5 Isaac episodes a day. That was one where I look back and I'm like, if I didn't, die then I can make it through this. It's no problem.
You're doing that. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's psychotic.
5 runs a day, recorded, high energy. How many? Wait.
High energy might be a stretch.
You would do 7 days a week. You wouldn't do like front load it, space it.
No, it's crazy. But then, like, I don't know. Again, everything that I'm saying here is admittedly kind of like a reaction to things that I see on social media mostly. Did you see the time lapse of like the 180 thumbnails that Mr. Beast AB to Z times 1,000 tested against each other to get the perfect one? For like, I had 100 people of all different ages join this game show to see who's gonna win $500,000. I was just like,
No,
literally, it was like, okay, first thumbnails, like Mr. Beast in the middle smiling, 8 people around him. Then the next one was like, we moved like one person over here and another person over here. Okay, put the old guy in front. Okay, put the kid in front. AI generated tears on the kid's face. Okay, now 2 old people in the front. Now 100 people in the back instead of 8 people. Now just Mr. Beast. Now Mr. Beast smiling. Now Mr. Beast smiling with no teeth. Now complete cartoon generated Mr. Beast. I was like, at that point, I would honestly rather be stocking shelves, to be honest.
But here's my thing. Those AI generated tears translate into 10 million views for him.
Yeah, but like, who cares?
That's true. But also, Mr. Beast has institutional leisure time, and you don't.
I don't know. Like, this is inspired by him in a way, because I saw an interview that Mr. Beast did where he was like, I don't go on dates with my girlfriend because I value my time at $100,000 an hour. So, like, just going on a date with her is like, it could be $500,000 in the garbage can.
Well, I'm not in the judgment business, but what do you think Mr. Beast would say if he heard you say that you recorded 5 episodes of Isaac a day for 5 years of your late 20s?
I have no idea what he would say. I've never spoke to Jimmy Donaldson. I
Well, that's the
imagine
same thing.
his hunch would be like, instead of doing that, why didn't you experiment, try new things? Because you could have climbed the YouTube ladder faster. And I would have said, I don't want to climb the YouTube ladder faster. I want to make a decent amount of money doing what I want to do. I don't really care about having 100 million subscribers. It seems kind of annoying, honestly. Where are you, by the way? I've been waiting at the bottom of the ladder for like 8 minutes.
I was waiting for you to come back because you kept dying.
I killed that guy easily.
But to circle back, why don't you just burn the Amazon boxes instead of do all that stuff you were doing?
I don't know. I got to buy like a barrel, and then where am I going to get the barrel from? It all comes back to Jeff Bezos, right?
What's the dumbest thing you ever did in college?
We did so there were security lights on campus where you could press a button and then you would get in contact with campus security. We devised a collaborative drinking game where you would shotgun a beer at every single one of those lights on campus. There's like 70 lights or something like that. So we started the night, everyone was super excited. This is how you find out who your friends are. We had like 10 of us, and we're like, that's not that big of a deal. Like 7 beers each. Like it'll be like rough, but we'll make it. And then like after everybody shotgunned 1 beer, so we're like 10 lights deep, and then 6 or 7 of the people were like, okay, I gotta go to the library. We're like, what? I thought we were in this for like the long haul, and they're like, no, this is crazy. So then me and 3 of my housemates just did the other 60 lights. And like we started it at like 7 p.m. or something like that. It took us until like 5 in the morning. And there were like multiple sagas on the journey. Like people like falling asleep and us being like, no, dude, you can't fall asleep. It's only 4 in the morning. Don't fall asleep. Like the way that my university campus is set up, there's also like main campus, and then like a 20-minute walk away, there's like a satellite campus. There were like 12 lights on the satellite campus too. So, 1 a.m. we walked across the city to go to the satellite campus. Then we walked back. I mean, I'm kind of surprised like I'm still alive to this day.
That may be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. And I don't say that lightly because there's no enjoyment. There's no chance
we had a great time.
Man.
We had a great time. And I felt like it was the ultimate male bonding event. Like upon finishing it, I was closer to the 3 other individuals that were there than I felt like I would be to my own birth sibling.
When's the last time you talked to any of those 3 individuals?
Well, okay, about 11 years ago probably, but that's their fault, not mine. I'm still in the group chat. Me and Malv still posted in the group chat every couple days.
Wait, Melf was one of the 3?
No. He wasn't there, but he's in the group chat with the lads. Malv went to a different school that had a more rigorous academic reputation.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
It's true.
Bro, you are an egghead. What do you mean? Why is Melf going to the Harvard of Canada and you're not?
Neither of us went to the Harvard of Canada.
What's the Harvard of Canada?
University of Toronto or McGill, I guess.
Wait, isn't that the name of the guy from Better Call Saul?
Yes, you're right.
Like that's your prestigious university?
It's actually named after him.
Bro, when you're in the middle of your I feel like I forgot it. When you're in the middle of recording 5 episodes of Isaac a day and that like do you remember at the end being pogged up, or were you like gassed?
I remember thinking when I was like 26, 27, I was like, if the rest of my life was recording like 10 Isaac episodes a day, I could make it. I think about like, sometimes I'll be at a restaurant and I'll be like, I'm not going to get like an appetizer. That's a ripoff. Then I'm like, how is it a ripoff? I'm paying for like more food, more labor. They got to do more dishes, etc., etc. We get paid more for doing nothing, man. We don't do anything. We don't do anything. I mean, like, we're working, but it's not like people are like, hey, you know, I'll give you $20 for like some fish tacos, and then you got to go buy the fish and the cabbage and the tortillas and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I don't believe this. I'm just playing devil's advocate. All they're doing is moving matter around.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
but that's all anybody does ever.
No, I feel the same way.
suppose.
I disagree with you because I think appetizers are a ripoff. It's always less food than an entree.
Yeah, but it costs less money than an entree.
Not always.
I'm gonna tell you, if you've reached a certain financial level in your life, adding an appetizer to a meal at a restaurant is one of the most cost-effective ways to improve your quality of life. Because you get to have an entree that you were gonna like to begin with, but then the appetizers tend to be tastier than the entrees because they're worse for you, so they give them in smaller portions. So you get a little treat, and then you get the entree as well. I would take an entree over a dessert any day of the week.
See, I don't know how you were raised, and this is not a judgment, but like for me, when we'd go out to eat, like if someone would order a pop, I would be like, "Yo, this kid's rich, man." Because we would go out, and it's like you just wouldn't order that. So now it's like I feel like it's like ingrained in me. So like when I go out to beat
the restaurant.
Yeah, but like even though there's an entree I really want, and it's like the top or one of the top 2 entrees price wise, I usually won't get it.
I'm with you on that one. Like if I unless I'm at a steakhouse, there's no shot you'll see me ordering the steak off the menu.
I agree with you, like the fact that we don't do anything.
Yeah.
But have you ever stopped to think about that? Like you'll end up spending your whole life doing nothing while other people are creating things?
No, it's sick. Don't get me wrong.
What do you mean it's sick?
Like it's good for us. But like every once in a while, I'm like, someone will give you like $25 in gift subs. They'll be like, "Thank you for mentioning that show that I like." And I'm like, "Bro, I didn't write the show. I didn't make the website. I didn't make the game I'm playing. I didn't make the microphone. I didn't do anything, man."
You know what that really is for though? That's like retrospective thank you payment for recording 5 episodes a day for 7 straight years.
Perhaps.
I think I went through this point, and we may have talked about it, where it's like you do stuff, you know, we're on Twitch, but it goes into the void, right? So it's like you don't get to see people laughing, you don't get to people like actually slapping their forehead saying, "I can't believe this guy just did this."
Right.
So it's like you don't get to see any of it. So it's like, well, what are we doing?
Whereas if you're making the fish tacos, you know it's okay because like right as soon as they take their first bite, you come out and go, "How are those first few bites treating you?" And then they have to answer you through like a mouthful of haddock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Versus
I see
like
what you're saying.
You could be doing what you're doing right now on stand-up nights at your local theater in front of 20 people and getting paid 1/1000th of a percent what you're doing now, but at least you get to see the person laugh.
I wonder what you ever think, like, because of the degradation of the social fabric, do you ever think, like, it sucks to be a stand-up comedian right now? I feel like, aren't you just getting heckled nonstop these days? Back in the day, it was just like one drunk uncle would heckle. But I feel like in the modern day, everybody is yelling at the comedians.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd want to be in the live business of anything right now.
Thanks for that. Appreciate that.
All right, let me ask this. If you had to hit the reset button
Yeah.
and still have the energy, but you couldn't be a computer programmer, and you couldn't do what you're doing now, what would you be doing?
I honestly have no idea.
Well, no, you have to pick something.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't know, because you like the first thing would be computer program, and you for no reason you just said you can't choose that.
You already did that.
I did it scholastically.
I mean, after recently, I think I'd like to start a landscaping business.
I can see that.
It's just fun.
I like the dude who called you a beta for I don't even know why. Because you have a riding mower, I guess. Back in my day, granddad was picking out the blades of grass by hand. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Someone in chat said classic Bravo fan. You're not wrong. I guarantee their DVR's loaded with Bravo shows. No disrespect to Andy Cohen. I like a good Bravo show every now and then.
Land is like so expensive, at least here, that like it's all just Starbucks, JJ Bean, Cactus Club Cafe, Chipotle, and like it's just places to eat or places to like drink coffee while you work on your laptop, and like that's it.
Wait, did you just say Cactus Club Cafe?
We got lots of restaurant names here.
What do they serve? Needles?
They don't serve needles. They don't serve cactus either, which is kind of crazy.
Is it a Western themed coffee house?
It is just a semi upscale restaurant / lounge, I would say. So it's the kind of place that's like, oh, we can't go to McDonald's. McDonald's is like, that's trash. But let's go to Cactus Club. I feel like I could really enjoy a burger tonight.
Like Applebee's?
Yeah, it's like Applebee's, but like the servers wear like dresses.
Is it the kind of place you go with Kate or without Kate?
It's the kind of place you go with Kate.
Okay. I'm just asking. You just said it in a weird tone, so I was just like...
Well, all I'm going to say is that in my entire life, I've never seen a male server at Cactus Club. So obviously part of the business model is like we hire ladies and not dudes, but it's not Hooters. It's like a hidden Hooters. It's like, how could you ever suggest that this is Hooters? This is a serious establishment.
Mommy.
There's a place that was recently made in Michigan, and it went over my head, but it's a like sports bar, and the logo is two mountains.
Oh, it's Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks. Yeah.
Like, why?
It's Boomer Corp.
What is Boomer Core?
Hey, let's go to that restaurant. They got like waitresses in skimpy outfits working there. Plus, you can get chicken wings. That's Boomer Core.
I know, but
Boomer Core, like, if you want some of the essences of boomerism, sexualizing your waitress is like extremely Boomer Core. Naughty, you're going to a naughty restaurant to eat dinner? Like, are you 14 years old? It's just weird. I'm not trying to say they're like immoral people. It's just like a weird collision of like two different impulses.
So is it, and you feel the same way about like haircut places like that too, right? You're getting your haircut.
Do they have like flirty haircut places?
In Michigan they do.
That's just sad to me, man. People are lonely.
What do you mean? I mean, like, are you saying there are tier 3 subs on other channels that go there?
I'm just saying, I guess they just want some like physical attention. So I can understand it, I guess, but I feel the same way like in Washington State, there's bikini baristas. You saved my life. Like, but they're like drive-through coffee shops where the baristas wear like skimpy outfits, and there have been many cases of like people going through the drive-through and being like, you know, will you show me the goods for $50 and stuff like that. It's just it's like a strange cultural glitch to me.
Well, as like, this is just me. It's no judgment if you go and you're a tier 3 sub on someone else's channel that you know, doesn't look like me in Northernlion. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, like, as a married man, I wouldn't go there. And then I thought about it. I'm like, even as an unmarried man, I just wouldn't go there.
It's just weird, right? Like, it's just... Well, yeah, but people who work real jobs are busy. Some people need to get horny and caffeinated at the same time. It's this hustle culture that's poisoning all of us.
Someone in chat says you enjoy a meal and a view. What's the problem?
You are 58 years old. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But you need to accept that the world is passing you by. I was telling this to chat. So I went to watch Game 4 of the playoffs in a movie theater that was showing the game. So I was like, this will be fun.
It's boomer pill. That's boomer pill.
Well, I'm not going to pay $500 for tickets to the game. That's insane. What if we lose?
Why just watch it at home?
Because you get popcorn, man.
Okay, fair enough.
So we're sitting there. It's me and my 3-year-old. I don't know, we're like row 5 from the back, right? Because she can't see over anybody's head. Or sorry, row 5 from the front. My body. There were 2 like dudes in their 60s behind us. Whatever, it's not their fault. But then one of the dudes was like, "What did you do yesterday?" And the guy was like, "Oh, I went to the university because the 4th-year dental students were graduating, and they were all done up in their." They had like their hair and makeup done. They were wearing gowns and high heels. They looked gorgeous. And I was like, "You pervert." You weren't even a member of like the faculty or anything. You were just like, "Oh, there's going to be lots of pretty young ladies. I'm going to go kibitz the graduation." That's weird, man. They're literally at school.
When you say stuff like that, it like, and I'm an optimistic person, you make me lose faith in humanity, because in no world, maybe I'm naive, I just don't think people would do something like that.
It's crazy to me. Like, when he was saying it, I was like, I mean, to do it is bad, but then to like tell someone as if it's normal. You're like, yeah, I just went and ogled some strangers the other day. You know, you could just Google like girls in dresses and high heels. You can find some people that are like posting that stuff online or something. You don't need, these are professionals, man. They're gonna be scaling your teeth.
Yo, hear me out though. I was like trying to come up with devil's advocate. I got nothing. I'm like, let me come up with something to justify that. I'm like maybe they're artists and they're like painting. I'm like, no, there's still no way. Like, there's no way.
Oh, dude, that is.
But like, how come you didn't say anything though?
What am I supposed to like pick a fight at the movie theater? Because there's a weirdo behind me. There's weirdos everywhere.
Hold on. Maybe their wife died while getting a diploma for a dentist.
Oh, and it's like their way of honoring her memory. Yeah, okay, it's possible.
No, that's weird though.
Hey, I was thinking. So I started. I bought some new clothes, as mentioned, and I started growing out my beard a little bit. It was
Really?
like clockwork. As soon as I had a beard and the shirt with the little chest hair exposed, I was like, I need to buy a gold chain. I've never been a jewelry guy in my entire life, but just looking at myself in the mirror, I was like, I need to be Miami maxing right now.
Is this a bit, or are you like considering getting one?
I would say it's a bit, and I'm in the early stages of considering possibly getting one.
So let me ask this: as a gold chain wearer,
yes,
that was gift. It was gifted to me. What would you get? A rope style? Would you get like Cuban link? What would you get?
Cuban links.
Okay.
Full Miami mode. Any
emblems or anything on it?
Well, my wife just said, "Don't get one. I'll bury you." So that's.
Wait, Kate.
Are you? I think it would be a swag upgrade, Kate. I think that'd be swag. I gotta up my swag to compete with you.
Oh, you know what? I just now forgot. I never responded to Kate. Kate, eBay is the answer. Sorry. She messaged me like 2 weeks ago about something.
Oh,
eBay.
Okay.
Sorry, Kate. I don't want to say the question because I don't want to dox her, but
yeah, the question was probably like, what's the largest online auction site on the internet?
I bet we could convince Kate to let you get a gold chain.
I mean, I'm the man of the house. I don't need anybody to let me get a gold chain, but that would be really helpful. I appreciate it. That'd be nice. So
Chat. And if you disagree that Ryan calls the shots in the house, why if you agree with him? Someone type an N in his chat for me. Kate, run. You cannot tell me.
Oh.
And look, I think it's a 51-49 situation.
No, it's
Kate's-
actually like a 72-28 situation, for sure.
Kate?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the same in my household too. That's why. That's all I can only say because I know from experience.
And even the 28, I'm like, she lets me have the 28. Like, that's just to keep things copacetic. She could probably push it and get to like 95.5, but I respect that she doesn't. But do you feel, I feel sometimes, and it's probably like a not all men situation, but I feel like in my head, I have an unchained id. If I was single, I don't think I would be dead, but I think I would have much less healthy routines and habits, and I would trick myself into thinking that like, oh, this is freedom, so it's good. It's like spiritually fulfilling. Having, and maybe it's not even a wife, maybe it's just having like a roommate who cares about you. Like, it will force you into situations where you round off those sharp edges of your compulsions and probably live like a happier and more balanced life as a result. But she won't let me get a gold chain. So, like, is it worth it?
I will say this. So and that's just we're just pontificating here. Say you're single right now.
Yeah.
Do you think any part of you would have became like that streamer, Tinder kind of like at least dipped your toe in that world? Well, like, you know, girls sending you emails and like DMs.
Would I be
stuff
Aiden
like
Ross? No, I don't think so.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, you know, you go out to LA for a little bit.
If I was single, I wouldn't say I guarantee, but I feel like I might be one of those streamers who's like, I just finished my 10-hour stream on my main channel, but I don't have any hobbies. Time to start a 6-hour stream on my alt, just to like reduce my stress a little bit.
Would your alt channel be called Egg and Chill, or what would it be called?
I would call it something like, you know, Yokeless. You know, something that's like obviously you know is me, but like you don't know is me. And then I would apply for partner too, because I would like, just because I'm not working, like I don't want to not be making money. Like, are you crazy?
Do you think? Okay, so this is all hypothetical. All right. So do you think if you were single now, how would you approach dating? Would you be on apps?
I'm sure you've thought the same thing. I have no idea. I feel like I was like, are you familiar with Dunkirk?
It's just a beach thing, right? Where like an attack on the beach.
So like the British Expeditionary Forces were in Europe in World War II, mainland Europe, and then the Third Reich pushed them back basically to the English Channel. And they were like, we got you. And then like a bunch of like civilian boats came over and saved as many of the soldiers as they could. It was like a miracle, right? That's like Kate and myself. I feel like we both got out right before the apps like took over, and everybody now seems to like evaluate someone as their entire personality in like 2 seconds and then go, nope, yep, nope, no. Like, I'm not saying it was easy back then, but it seems like more quaint. So I don't even want to imagine what the nightmare of like dating as a young person would be now, and then like add on like, you know, approaching middle age on top of that. I feel like my the package that I present to potential mates, it would be contrary to my interest to have it all be like one photo that's immediately evaluated and chucked in the trash on the app.
What do you mean?
I feel like I have to like, you know, worm my way under your skin a little bit. You gotta, probably most people when they see me, they're not like, oh, that's like my dream person right there. But then after you talk to me for a while, I lay like some rhetorical traps, and then like, oh, you stepped on it and now you're poisoned. You can't get out of it, right? Like I kind of tricked you into like, I cast a veil of mystery over my visage, and then like I win over your mind and trick you into thinking that I have hair, essentially.
Well, is that how you said it worked with me? Because when I first met you, I said, hey, thanks for making that YouTube video on how to make YouTube videos. And you told me, thanks for the 5 cents, buddy. The first thing you ever said to me. Is that the kind of trap you're saying? Because I don't know if you know how that would work in the modern dating
That's male
world.
bonding, I think.
So
let me bonding.
So you would not be on apps now?
Well, I think like you have to be, right? I guess you could wait for like your coworker to be like, hey, I know somebody.
Who would that be? Apollo's gonna tell you, hey, I know someone in Texas. Come on down.
Well, this is in the other world where I'm doing something else that's not streaming or for some reason being a computer programmer.
You know what, chat? If you're single right now, you're on the apps. I feel for you, but here's my word of advice: never go on a first date for coffee. Just don't do it.
I know people, they got really strong opinions on first dates. What's wrong with the coffee date first?
It's literally coffee date is you're walking into the friend zone. You go to coffee dates to meet your great aunt and to go on a job interview, not to my man.
But like, okay, maybe this is like not fair. I'm like, why is the onus on you to come up with like, oh, every single first date has to be like, oh, we're going on a zero-G low Earth orbit space flight. Like, there's coffee shops everywhere, bro. Everybody's busy. We got stuff to do.
It doesn't have to be. It just you can literally go anywhere on a first date except to get coffee. Well, anywhere.
Then, because you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say, what about a movie?
That's fine.
Oh, okay. Because people, they got strong opinions about movies. They're like, you don't get to talk. There's nothing you could do. And I'm like, yeah, but at least if the date sucked, you fucking saw a movie. You could be like, check out. Look, at least I saw Dune 2. Yeah, maybe we don't have a future, but I saw Dune 2.
Movie is the best because you have very little to go off of, which is good. So like, you, instead of giving them 3 hours of your time, you give them 7 minutes, and you're like, within those 7 minutes, we're like, okay, that was a good 7 minutes spent. Let's do it again. Or, hey, I don't ever want to see this person again, and you don't have to talk to them.
Plus, you could learn a little bit about how they behave in public and thus how they view other people.
Yes.
Are they talking through the movie? Are they on their phone during the movie? I mean, like, I feel like that might be important these days.
Also, there's a lot of time to think, and most importantly, like hand placement. You know, like.
Oh yeah, yeah. Are you gonna on the first date? Are you gonna really try to like do the shoulder touch, yawn into the shoulder touch? Is that what you're thinking?
If you got the hand on the armrest,
yeah,
and like the date has the hand on the armrest and the pinkies are touching, and the other person doesn't move, that's like a little bit of early communication that it's going well.
I hear you. It's 9th grade coded. Yeah.
But it's 9th grade coded, but it's also true. The brain wants what the brain wants. Because here's my thing. If you were doing that and you're on a date and you got the pinky on pinky and you don't like the person, what are you doing with your hand?
Yeah.
You're moving it.
Or maybe maybe she's like, I'm in the middle seat, so I'm supposed to get both armrests. So he's like, she's fighting you for the armrest, and you're not picking up on the social cue.
Out of respect for our current wives, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What was your first date you ever went on in your life?
It's crazy to say. I can't really recall. Because I did what many people think is impossible. With my first serious girlfriend, I went from friend zone to dating zone. So I'm like, when do you count the first date on that one? Do you like, we were hanging out as friends, doing the things that you would do on a date, minus some of the obvious stuff. And then when we started dating, it was kind of just like the same thing with dessert.
Out of respect for Kate, how did things go from friend? How did you get out of the friend zone? Did she pull you out of the friend zone, or did you jump out of the friend zone?
No, it was horrible. This was like the girl I had a crush on like all throughout high school, but just never told her. And I was like, maybe one day she'll just realize and she'll be like, I got a crush on you too.
Okay.
And then like, so after graduation, I was like, well, that's that dream dead then. And because she went to a different school and I went to a different school. Then we kept talking, and like in her first year, she's like, this school's not working out. I'm gonna drop out and come back to our hometown and like work for a year while I figure out what I want to do. And I was like, cool. So I was like, you know what? This is my time. It's risk-free. So basically one day after we ate lunch, I told her like, hey, I hope this isn't weird, but I have had the whole time we've been friends, I've actually had like a crush on you, and it would be awesome if like you did too. And she was like, yeah, no problem. And I remember we were in her parents' like Plymouth Voyager, and she was like, oh, okay, yeah, let me think about it. And then I got out of the passenger seat, and it was like the van left like tire marks in the parking lot. So I was like, okay, that's like the worst she could have said is no. And then that's even worse than that. And then she ghosted me. Like, we didn't talk again for like 10 months or something like that. It's a nightmare, right? So I was like, it's over. And then she was like, she messaged me out of the blue like the next September and was like, hey, I'm coming to the school that you go to. You want to hang out? And I was like, I guess, but like, what the heck happened? Like, you haven't talked to me in like 6 months. And
Were there any
was,
emojis in the message or no?
it's pre-emoji. It's in the like emoticon era. Anyway, I mean, that's how it started.
Wait, so then when she said when you want to hang out, how did you know that was non-friend hangout?
Well, because I had finally like gone nuts on the table mode and been like, you know, here's my inner monologue.
Okay, so then, because I never heard this story. So then what happened?
Well, then we started dating.
I know, but then why did it end?
This is kind of a personal question. And now that it's actually funny, we were kind of like drifting apart. But, I mean, we're both like inexperienced. We were like 19 years old, right? So I just remember like the vibes had been off for maybe like, I don't know, 6 weeks or a couple months. And then one day I was out with the lads and I got a text from her that was like out of the blue. It was like, hey, can I come over tomorrow? I got something to talk to you about. And I was like, guys, I think I'm about to be broken up with. And they were like, oh, that sucks. And I was like, yeah, I guess. And then, so she said, I'll be over like after my class at like noon or something like that. Catch me at my house waiting from like noon until 4. And then I'm like, where are you? And she sends me a text that's like, do we really need to talk about this? And I was like, oh, I guess not. See you later. She was like an IT tech ex-girlfriend. She gave me a breakup window and then she missed it, bro.
The non-breakup breakup.
I know, it's, I mean, I can't really, like, I don't know. I think it's moving the goalposts to be mad about it. Like, you know, we were cooked anyway. Like, I'm like, oh, you could have delivered it in, like, a more direct manner. Yeah, we were both super young. I don't really blame her. But it is a funny story in hindsight, for sure.
Was she at your high school reunion?
I didn't go to my high school reunion.
Have you seen, messaged, or heard from her since the no breakup window?
So like we broke up in my junior year of college and she kept going to the same college, which is, you know, makes sense. I never really saw her again except one time, maybe like 3 months after the breakup. I was leaving an exam that I wrote, and while I was leaving the building, she was walking in, and it was like a lich grabbed my heart with like an ice cold hand. Like out of nowhere, it was just like, and my body went into like fight or flight, but like she didn't notice me and I just kept walking.
But like,
I don't really want to have that conversation.
But since then, like she definitely knows who you are now.
She might, I don't know. I'm not that famous for normal people, and most of the people I went to school with were normal because they were born in 1988 instead of like 1997.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what makes it more likely is that you come from a normal time. Be like, oh, yo, you know that dude that you ghosted? He's a huge streamer now. She knows. You think, okay, she could be in your chat right now.
It's ancient history. I wish her the best.
But she could be.
Yeah. Kim Jong-un could be in my chat right now.
That's true.
How do I know that? I don't have the /no Kim Jong-un filter on. I imagine she's not in my chat. Again, I was born in the late 1980s, Daniel. I imagine she's doing some work right now.
That's kind of BM. I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of like is upsetting because at least if you break up with someone, like, especially, you know, after the Voyager peeling away.
Yeah.
Like, that's like double BM because now you have like 2 BM stories from one person.
Yeah, but there was like I don't know, like a 2-year period in the middle where it was like GM.
That's true. That's true.
And you know, you're young, you know, like people make mistakes. You're like, I don't want to have this uncomfortable conversation. I'd rather just go get a slice of pizza or something like that. There's no grudge to be held. I was thinking about this. I talked about this on stream. It's got to be like a month ago. When we think of ourselves, we take the most charitable light. Like if you thought of your actions in high school, if you did something that, you know, you find regrettable now, you're like, oh, I was a kid. I was younger, you know, it was my brain wasn't fully developed. But if someone did something messed up to you in high school, you're like, I hope their life sucks forever. Even though it's been the same amount of time for both of you.
Yeah, well, I got a BM story then.
Okay.
But it comes with a twist. So long story short, I was in college, and I was in class with this girl, and believe it or not, like, you know, I always did fairly well in that department, but I was also like a little shy, you know, so had this girl in class. I'm like, hey, like, I know it's a summer. You kind of like, I went to Michigan State. She went to Michigan State. And like, you know, we just got to know each other as friends throughout the like business class, whatever. We had group projects. And so it's the end of the semester. And I'm like, okay, like, it's kind of like low risk, meaning the class is almost over. So if she doesn't want to go out, I don't have to see her again.
Yeah.
Well, I asked her out. She'd be like, yeah, that'll be fun. Like, we'll be home in a couple weeks. Call me. We'll go out to eat or whatever. You know, she's like, yeah, I'd love to go out. So I'm living at home. I call her. We set a date. She lives probably like 45 minutes away. I'm like, okay, hey, look, I'll come drive out to you. We'll go to this restaurant. Da 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 da. I go pick, because I really like this girl. I go get flowers. Get in my car.
Start up old school.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like I said, I didn't have a lot of trouble in that department. Anyways. So I'm like, it's 45 minutes away. I'm 35 minutes there. And she calls me and she goes, hey, like, I don't think we should go out. And I'll never forget. I'm sitting there, like, in the car looking at the flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I've been waiting to go out with this girl for 6 months. So I drive home. And I give my mom the flowers, and she's like, what happened? And I just kind of like, you know, shrugged it off. So fast forward, 2008.
Oh, no. Post Big Brother Season 10?
I win a little reality TV show.
Oh.
Within a week of getting off the show, I look at my Facebook messages. And well, if the shoe isn't on the other foot... Hey, Dan, smiley face.
Uh-oh.
Hope all is well. Would love to catch up sometime.
It's crazy she didn't see the vision back then.
You know? Bro, I was 45 minutes with flowers in the car. Could have been you. But you know what? You know?
I'm not going to lie to you. Just like, I'm over it. It was a long, long time ago. But in telling the story again, I felt like 1/50th of the pain that I felt in that moment.
I mean,
like there's still like it's like when you like tear your ACL or something like that, and then even when you're 80 years old, it aches when it rains. Like it's a part of you now.
Oh, bro, she 50 Cent memed you. You know the picture of the gif of 50 Cent pulling up and away? That's what she did to you.
I know.
Like I got angry when I heard that.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a long time ago. But then because I'm not a perfect person, can I tell you something as well that's gonna make you laugh? One time I got him. This is when we were still dating. I got invited to like her family Christmas, and I went. But you're 19. I didn't really want to be with a bunch of old people on Christmas. I wanted to be hanging out with my friends who were back in town from university. So like, I got there early, ate dinner, stayed for a little bit, and then I was like, okay, I better be going. And I remember when I left, I texted my friends, like as soon as I got out of the door, I was like, I'm glad that boring is finally over. And I drove to his house, then I opened my phone and saw that I had one text message, and I had texted her instead of my friend. And then she said, what are you talking about? And I said, oh, it's just a little joke. Have a good night.
All right, well, so she's not completely innocent in the whole scenario.
No, I'm not innocent in it.
Bro, you hated her family, and you told her that
I didn't hate her family. I just, at the time, I didn't respect putting your family first. I was like, I want to hang out with my boys.
I'm very optimistic, Brian, but I do think we probably are ahead of the game here a little bit.
We should probably go to the place that lets us upgrade our weapon at least.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you just died to wind.
I did die to wind.
Which it wouldn't be me. Even in real life, I don't think.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of wind coming off the Voyager. I can promise you that.
The other thing, as soon as I said Plymouth Voyager like 20 minutes ago, one dude in chat clocked it immediately. He said, was it dark purple? You know it, brother. Did they make them in any other color?
Brian Gary, you want to I think we should call it here, and then when we come back next time,
Sounds good to me.
go after the big guy. It was a good run, man, dude.
Good run.
You know,
Did we do anything?
thanks for.
Did we make any progress?
Yeah, we leveled. We got to the new boss.
That's
But
true.
I don't think. I think we powered through the game. I mean, we're 30% done with the game
We're almost
already.
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun, man.
All right, later, Daniel.
All right, see ya, chat.
I just need to let my wife know. I have received no call. Frowny face. I called him. He said he'll call back. He needs like a wife, like from that old Sears commercial. I'll call tomorrow. You'll call now. I'll call now. Like, I think he's just scared. Honestly, I think it's possible that he doesn't actually know how to fix our washer, so he just keeps stalling. And he's hoping, like, overnight that, like, divine providence will teach him how to fix our washing machine. But, like, every morning it doesn't happen. He's like, oh, I gotta find a good excuse. That happened with my AC. It fixed itself. Here's how you know that we're in the worst of all possible worlds, by the way. My dryer wouldn't turn on. I Googled the make and model of my dryer and started being, okay, so it could be like a faulty door latch. So I'm like slamming the door shut. I'm holding the door shut, pressing the button. Then it's like, oh, check and see if it has power by like holding the control lock button. So I hold the control lock button and then the display goes like 3, 2, 1. So obviously it has power. And I'm like, well, what the hell? Why won't the power button work to actually turn it on then? You know what fixed it? Unplugging it and plugging it back in. That's what you do to fix a computer. My dryer is not a computer. It's a hot wheel. There's too many computer parts inside of the dryer if unplugging it and plugging it back in fixes it. They gotta make the appliances dumber, man. You should never have to unplug and plug back in like a machine that was invented in 1903. It doesn't make sense. I'm happy that it was such a simple fix, don't get me wrong, but I'm like annoyed that I have a dryer where like, oh, some bits got flipped, so now like the only way you got to do a hard factory reset of the machine, otherwise like the electricity isn't going to get where it's supposed to go. Isn't it just like the electricity comes from the wall into the dryer and then I press a button and it heats up and starts spinning? Like if they were like, oh, the heat pump broke, I'd be like, it's a dryer, that's what they do. Bro is like, oh, sorry, the motherboard it's one of the bits is flipped in such a way that it doesn't work well. Yeah, something we don't really know. Something we need to issue a firmware update from your dryer. The physics of drying have changed a lot in the 18 months since we made this. Like, what are you talking about, man? Okay, we will not be spending our life in no man's land. What a return, what a return. I'm just scared. Here's the clickbait. Served by the CRA? There we go. What's the CRA? It's Canada's IRS. Perfect timing, too, because yesterday was tax deadline day. Any other Canadians have this experience yesterday? Urgent email. You have mail from the Canada Revenue Agency. Okay, no problem. Log into the website, which is so hyper secure, which I support, that it took like 20 minutes just to log in. Log in. It says, you have mail. I click on the mail. It says, your notice of assessment will be ready May 9th. And I said, okay, why are you mailing me on April 30th then? And it said, well, you can look at your notice of assessment right now if you apply for an express notice of assessment. So I clicked the button that was like express notice of assessment. And it was like, okay, here's your notice of assessment. Like, I didn't know what we were doing there. Like, it just seemed like a lot of rigmarole. New Japanese restaurant just opened near me and it's using the Asian font on the menu. This is going to go hard. Disingenuous bad faith trolls are going to hit you with question marks and say what you said is problematic. They don't know the thrill of going to a quote-unquote Asian restaurant and then the front of the menu just has like clip art of bamboo on it and stuff like that. You are about to have the most mid-meal of your entire life and you're going to love it. Because I do. The European mind boggles at going to a restaurant that has sushi, bibimbap, Korean barbecue, hot pot, American-style Chinese food, British-style Chinese food, hot dogs and hamburgers on the same menu. By the way, did you see the viral tweet from the UK that said it went out with my friend and he ordered the most busted curry I've ever seen? I'm sorry to tell you this because the only reason I bring this up is because I'm holding a grudge. It was at an Indian restaurant. He had a large piece of naan with a melted cheese slice on top of it, and then French fries. Mixed with the French fries were fried pieces of fish and peas, and no sauce whatsoever. I'm not saying all food in England is like that. However, when we talked about British Chinese food, and I said, is it true that they serve it on top of French fries? People said, no, that doesn't happen. This guy literally saw it happen in the wild. So what's your explanation for that? I'm just asking you not to lie to me. Hang on, this is an important message right here. In Kingston, Holy Chow closed recently and was replaced by a different Chinese place with a normal-ass name. Dude, what? Holy Chow was like an institution, man. It was a Chinese restaurant with a pun for a name. I remember Holy Chow with the subway next to it. Also remember they had a big sign that said no MSG. And as a kid, I was like, no MSG! As an adult, I was like, no MSG. Did you see the tweet of the British person seeing a Chevy Tahoe for the first time? Okay, but they're cooking with that one. Cars that big should not exist. Like, I'll accept having a pickup truck if you work a blue-collar job. But, like, there's no reason... Like, the GMC Suburban, the Chevy Tahoe, the Cadillac Escalade, it's my position that those vehicles should not exist. You ever considered taking up beekeeping? Before I answer, Librarian, I would say, why do you ask? Because I feel like when you ask a question like that, you must have a good reason. You ever considered taking up beekeeping? I'm going to be honest. The answer is definitely no. I'm just going to say it, though, and I don't care who gets offended. Jerry Seinfeld. I don't really give a fuck about the bees. Like, I know that they're very important, obviously, but I'm not, like, I'm not out there, like, killing bees indiscriminately. But I'm just out here, like, you know, I'm not structuring my whole life for the bees. I'm structuring my life for, like, myself for the most part. I'm not really interested in being a beekeeper. Huge mistake. I mean, I bet from like well, okay, I am pulling clover out of my lawn, but if I had to guess, you lived in a concrete box. So like, truth be told, we're probably still doing more for the bees out here just by having a variety of like floral arrangements outside than you are in your condo. We got pollinators just because we're ripping out the clovers. I mean, I'm not out there exterminating bees. You got me confused. I'm also not saying bees are bad. I'm just saying, you know, I think other people can handle the bees. I'm just chilling. Also, it's crazy. I know this is like, it's whataboutism, and that's why it's based. People are always like, oh, you don't structure your whole life for the bees? That's problematic. Okay. How about the ants? Oh, ants are a pest? No, I'm talking about your mom's sister. When was the last time you talked to her? She's a member of your family. She might need your help too. She can advocate for herself. The bees don't advocate for themselves. What do you think their stinger is there for, bro? They went to the Teddy Roosevelt School of Foreign Policy. Hang on a second here. David, can you explain yourself? Type so bad, LOL. Chat, can you tell me what badges David has active right now? I'm just testing a little scientific theory that toxic people love pretending that they're wholesome. Twitch recap 2023. We gotta, like, I'm merely observing phenomena. We need, like, a real creative thinker to figure out why the most evil things in chat are said by the people with the Twitch 2023 recap badge. I don't know, I guess maybe they're sporting a relatively modern badge. They may tend to be a little bit younger. Haven't had time to develop that empathy that usually kicks in, I don't know, age 5 or something like that. That's the only thing that I can think of, but that's why we got to run an experiment. I can't just be hitting you with some kind of like null hypothesis here. Why you iced up? Bro, that's the thing though. I'm not iced up yet. I want to be iced up. I've never been a watch guy in my entire life. Am I really getting that boomer pilled? I was Googling best watch for pale skin tone yesterday. And then Google said, hey, how about this watch that costs like $20? And I was like, I'm 35 years old, brother. We got to be Got to be stunting a little bit more than that. And they said, okay, how about this Rolex that costs $75,000? And I said, what? They make them that? I knew watches were expensive, but $75,000 for something my phone just does? I'm starting to think this Rolex Corporation doesn't know shit about watches, bro. I guess, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to watch. It's possible in a day the compulsion will be dead. But I don't want to watch that I can buy from Shoppers Drug Mart, but I also don't want to watch where they have to like do a credit check before I buy it. Maybe like a couple $100 watch or something like that. I don't even care what it looks like. All I care about is the price tag. Get a Shinola. Is this a Ligma or is it a real watch? Like get your shins over here so I can come on your ankles or something like that? Kill him. He's demoralized. Oh, back to the hot corner. What happened to my guy's skin? Did you see that? When they have realistic sweat models, but your video card is dying? Okay. Okay. Let's upgrade this guy. Let's upgrade this guy with a GPU. I'm crying at that. I'm crying. I didn't realize Librarian was right. So on Monday, I played the Dulls, and I did a bit. I wandered into a bit that has like a history that I didn't know about. I was trying to guess a dark electric type Pokemon, and I guessed Luxray because it's an electric cat that is black. Librarian posted the tweet or the video on Twitter, and there's like, people are coming for my head, bro. Like 14-year-old kids from Argentina are like, how you know your brain is blown out by ROM hacks? You think Luxray is dark type or something like that. I'm like, bro, I don't even know. I've never played a Pokemon ROM hack in my life. I didn't know there was like, I was wading into like 1,000 years of Pokemon online arguments that like Luxray should or shouldn't be dark type or something. Like I'm 35 years old, man. I'm just trying to make the people laugh. There are literally kids in middle school that are like quote tweeting that and going, this guy is fucking stupid. Because I said that a cat with a lightning bolt tail that is black should be a dark electric type. And then they're also hitting me with like what I would consider to be unfair arguments. Someone posted a picture of Sceptile. You can type POC Sept in chat in order to see what Sceptile looks like. And they said, let me guess. You think this is a grass type because it's green? No, motherfucker. That's clearly a dragon, okay? That's a dragon. But Luxray is not a dragon, so I don't see what that has to do with anything. There are fish that are not water type in Pokemon. Like, I'm just asking for it to... It doesn't have to make sense, but you at least have to admit that I've got a point. I didn't expect him to have that kind of impetus on it. Beautiful. Now we play. I saw someone in chat, by the way, say hitting it cross court gives you more time to recover. You mad genius. I never even thought about that. We take those. Good game. Dude, he should be crying. I can't believe we finally did it. Was this the finals? Plus, we did it in straight sets as long as you ignore the second set. He's going to have to buy some new shoes, though. Beautiful. 13 aces versus 1. Oh! Scoring system, percentage system. That face when you play tennis. What are you? What is this, man? TFW, you play tennis. I gotta put that on my character for sure. We won the final. We got 7 winner bucks. If you unlocked anything in the battle pass, I guess I should check. Skills are situational gameplay bonuses that can be unlocked through tier 3 fittings. Okay, what about fittings? Why can't I access my fittings then? They're all locked, man. Maybe my mouse? They won't even let me get down there. I can't do anything, bro. Why is this so complicated? Attribute points can only increase attributes to a max of 70. Well, didn't I go up against people who had like 90s and stuff? Like, what's going on here? Is this all pay to win? It's a danger of having some pay to win in your game. Because, like, as soon as I encounter some friction on the menu, I'm like, well, there must be another pay to win aspect. How we doing here? I haven't unlocked anything else? I gotta, because it's like all premium now? Most of it is premium? What are we doing here, man? And don't I have any like double XP bonuses I could pop or something like that? Like how do I put those on? How do I put up my double XP bonus on, man? Is it in the pro shop? In main menu, you can hit select to check your boosts. Okay. You're right. Hang on. I got keep up the good training. Podcasts have dropped. 100% XP boost for one match. All right, no pressure. Now just put me up against somebody who's got 3x my stats in every category. Well, we're going to make the best of it. Oh, man. You hit me with a slice. He's mixing up shot variety. He's setting me up.
40 love.
Sorry, it's just because he's got advantage right now. If he's not the server, we're chilling. Also, plus you have a bad connection. It's probably just because you have a bad connection. Why is he hitting it Mach 10? Oh, because he has 70 power. I just leveled mine up, so I'm not sweating it. I'm sitting at 36, I think. What? Perfectly placed shot to throw me off my timing? I'm playing against Richie Tenenbaum, bro. How about a little cross-court Andrew? Give me a little bit more time to recover. Why? Because Richie Tenenbaum loves his stepsister too much? I'm a siblingless Andrew. You probably already knew that. Why is everybody getting on Richie Tenenbaum for his relationship with his stepsister? I don't get it. They're not related. I don't know if it's problematic. It's probably frowned upon. Sure, frowned upon. But otherwise, it's like, I don't know. The vibes are not good, okay? Yes! Incredible bit? It's not a bit. It's my brand of, like, perhaps overly objective reasoning and communication. Tell me why Richie Tenenbaum and Margot Tenenbaum, why society would frown on their relationship. Why? Because they ate dinner at the same table growing up? Because they grew up together? Lots of people, like, marry a person they grew up with, bro. Neighbor's kid or something like that. Girl you had a crush on in the first grade? This is different, but like explain to me how it's different. Without using the words they ate at the same dinner table. Tell me why. I'm asking for reasoning and you're just hitting me with vibes, bro. They shat in the same toilet? And? I guess it would be weird to like marry your stepsister. Or would it be weird or would it be like convenient? Because at the holidays, you only got to go to like one house, you know? You don't have to do like one Christmas with her family, one Christmas with your family. It's the same family. You're making me laugh, but I can't plus two. This is one of the reasons that society like can't move on. Like we're slow as a species to have progress. One of the reasons is because we're not good at having uncomfortable conversations. I'm not going to judge you. Just tell me the logical reasons. Don't be like, it's, you know, it's not done.
30, 40.
Give me the logical reasons. I don't think there are any. Bait used to be believable? Well, judging by the replies, it still is. But I feel like I'm getting baited by the bait used to be believable comment now that I think about it. Because I'm like,
Game in total. One game on.
it's not logical reason I don't like it. I'll accept that. I think that's fair. It's incest? It's not incest. They're not related. And they're in love, I think. Or at least Richie Tenenbaum's in love with Margot Tenenbaum. I don't know. She's just kind of... She's detached from kind of like any human connection. Unfortunately, if you're Raleigh St. Clair. It's incest coded? Yeah. I can't deny that. I mean, like we all know it's frowned upon.
15-14.
There's an academic paper about this. Okay, don't be shy, Google Scholar. Can you give us the abstract instead of just making me look it up myself? Emotional incest is a thing. I don't know if we're ready for that in 2024. That might be like a 2034 like bit of discourse. I'm hoping to be out of the discourse by then. Bro, this guy's so submissive and breakable. I guess I'm the server, so he's not breaking me. The tennis words are weird, man. I mean, the dude is named Top. You're not wrong. I guess maybe he's submissive and he's so breakable and dominant. Why can't you hit those loopers, man? What's wrong with them on the loopers? Peloton should be in the Olympics. Absolutely. It's actually offensive to me that it's not. They have biking, but that's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for Peloton. I found myself thinking like that when I was watching Physical 100, which is how you know I'm cooked. They'd have like an event that's like, you're going to roll a boulder up a really big hill. Then you're going to pull on a rope to raise the boulder, and another team member has to grab the boulder and push it into a basket. I was like, this is stupid. Why don't they just have an event that's like, everybody goes on an exercise bike, and the person with the lowest average wattage, the bike explodes. Every minute, one person's bike explodes. Last man standing. That was the first event? Yeah, but that was running. That's not biking. Two different things, bro. It's like you're not even listening to me. You're hearing me, obviously, but it's like you're not even listening.
Deuce.
Just get Jimmy to do it. That's what I'm waiting for. YouTuber Physical 100 from Jimmy Donaldson. It would probably be the last video he would ever make because like 5 YouTubers would have a heart attack
T.
on the walk 2,000 steps in one day challenge. But I'm joking. There's fitness YouTubers. They shouldn't be invited though. They'd be too good. Why do they say love instead of zero? It's fucking tradition, bro. What's your problem? Also, you better not be like a hardcore gamer if you said that, because gamers are the worst about using like insular logic. You ever ask like why a mechanic in a game is like this? People are like, it's simple. It's just a Neo Cortex version of a full frame perfect dash cancel. And you're like, what? None of those words are in the Bible, bro. What does that mean? Then they're like, why do they use love instead of zero? It just doesn't make sense to me. Incredible shot. Can't even be mad. NL, you should play fighting games. No, the thing is, like, I don't see why we all have to fit our round pegs in the square hole of the fighting game genre. Why can't fighting game players get into sports games? But I'm expected to learn the 8th iteration of some franchise with an unbelievably high skill floor and an astronomical skill ceiling? Bro, just start playing topspin tennis. Also, again, I know we've been through this. I'm not trying to make the fighting game community angry. If I was raised in an Auroch shield, I'm sure there's a chance that I would be a fighting game Andrew. But I wasn't. I was raised in North America. But I know you, and that's why you can't lie to me. Because you're lying to yourself. Great serve. Holy fuck. You only want new players to get into fighting games. He's insane. For fodder. Like, I've been down that road before, you know, when I was childless, before I lived with my wife. I was like, you know what would be fun? Maybe I'll get into, like, Street Fighter 4 or something like that. There's 17 editions of Street Fighter 4 on Steam. I bought whatever one was on sale. I went, played a little bit of it, and got my ass beat. Probably lost 10 matches in a row, and said, you know what? This obviously isn't working. I have to learn something. I watched some tutorials online. I went to the lab to learn some combos with the character that I had chosen. That in and of itself was like 2 nights of gameplay. Went back to matchmaking, rattled off another 30 consecutive losses, and said no. Because I get it now. I get it now. The more newbies that you can get into fighting games, the easier wins you're going to get for a while. You always need fresh blood. It was the same with Super Auto Pets. You need the fresh blood to survive. I just can't get down for the most part. I mean, it's different if you've got like a shared... If you've got a history with the franchise. Like, that's why I played so much drunk Super Smash Bros. In university, that when a new Smash comes out, I can jump in and, like, be okay for a bit until people with a lot of free time really start to, you know, frame max. But if you're jumping in from zero, like, anytime the value proposition is like, oh, it's easy, all you gotta do is, you know, invest 100 hours in complete misery when you could be learning like a real skill in order to learn how to have fun with the video game, something that most games just let you have fun with as soon as you press the on button. It's just, I'm not disputing the majesty of a fighting game when you're inside someone's head and you brain jack them and dominate them completely. Like, it's a wonderful feeling. But the asking price to get there is so high. You can play versus the AI. Good idea. Maybe I'll pivot from being like a Balatro streamer to playing Tekken 8 against the AI. David, are you here? Do you think that's a good business decision? 7 months after the game came out? I'd watch. Yeah, I'm not worried about you. You're already locked into the ecosystem. I'm worried about the new Andys. Just like you got to get fresh blood for the fighting games, I got to get fresh blood from viewers. Because, like, you know, people that have been watching me for 12 years, they get married, they have a kid, they don't have a whole lot of time on their hands anymore. All of a sudden, they haven't seen a video in 18 months, and I'm talking about Mama Liz's chili oil. They're like, what does this shit even mean? You constantly got to be cycling some fresh blood in here. And I don't think Tekken 8 versus the AI is the way to do it. And I'm not sure I want the kind of chat that I would get if I started playing Tekken 8, to be honest. Balattro's bad enough. Hey, when you add 1/8 of a frame to react, you really should have launched into your anti-air combo instead of going to your default mix-up. All right, okay. Next time I get the fucking Neuralink installed, I'll make sure to tell the technician that just play Eddie and hit threes. This is why fighting game fans are annoying, man. I don't know what that means. This is like the why do they call it love instead of zero argument, but inverted. What the fuck does just play Eddie and hit threes mean? I know Eddie, he's the capoeira guy, right? What is a three? Three is left kick? The fuck is three, bro? That's the other thing. Don't even get me started on when I start playing Tekken 8 with a controller. It's a reference to a bot that was built to play Tekken. All it does is do low kick with Eddie. Okay, like, again, now I don't just have to know Tekken. Now I've got to know the streaming culture surrounding Tekken as well. Like, this is why I say, like, there's two different ways to communicate, okay? One is, like, to communicate brain to brain, human to human, to try to communicate. The other one is to hear something come out of your mouth. And yours is to come out of your mouth. You said something that you understand, but I had no hope of possibly understanding. Now, do I do the same myself from time to time? Of course. To be fair, you're in the age demographic for Tekken players. Can we just not talk about Tekken? I don't know anything about it. I don't know what... there's no meat for me to get off the bone. I don't know anything about Tekken. I don't know its demographics. I know that they just released the 8th version. You guys are doing horrible marketing for getting me to play Tekken, just to be honest. There was a part of me that was like, maybe if I could find the time, it would be fun to, like, RSVP yes to that tournament, if they would even have me. Then talking about Tekken for 12 minutes, I don't want to touch it, man. Just the discourse surrounding the game is annoying. I don't even... That's before you get into the most annoying part of fighting games, which is actually playing them. What about VR games? If you're not happy with what you're watching right now... Wait, here's me 10 years ago. I would say if you're not happy with what you're watching right now, it's a big website. Go find something you actually like. Me now, I have a little bit more self-confidence. If you're not happy with what you're watching right now, nothing you could watch is going to save it. That true change comes from within. You need to reform an element of yourself in order to derive that happiness, because I can't be held responsible for it anymore. It's just too much. Tekken's not going to save you. VR streams are not going to save you. Dollhouse streams might save you, but there was just one guy doing those, and he's on sabbatical right now. Baldur's Gate 3 full playthrough is not going to save you. Chibli Rockstar Simulator might save you. But I take responsibility, because I think as a streamer, you've messed up as soon as you let things get in the game chat. Because you just, it just never goes well. Because I just say no to everything, and then people just suggest stuff that is like increasingly bad over time, and they don't take no for an answer. They're like, no, I don't want to isn't a good reason. You need to have some objective reason. The dev needs to be a bad person. Are you playing baby steps? This is the logical endpoint of game chat. Is baby steps out? Answer the question. I know the answer. You know the answer. And I know that you know that I know the answer. As I am not part of the development team for baby steps, I will not be playing baby steps. When it comes out, when the calendar changes to the day that it comes out, assuming it's not a Saturday or a Sunday, I'm on that shit 100%, bro. Why are they talking English in Madrid but French in France? Listen, brother, I ain't got all the answers, okay? I'm choosing to spotlight it not because it made me angry, but because it might be an opportunity to mine some humor out of it. But do you ever, like, I live with the 3.5-year-old right now. I'm used to getting a lot of why questions, so maybe that's why I'm like pre-triggered by them in a way. But I'm also like, maybe I'm just not, like, I'm an inquisitive person. I have a curious mind. Sometimes I'll be like, I wonder why they're like this. Like a good example from earlier in the stream. It does kind of boggle my mind that even after I've been alive for 30 years, I will still see like novel hotel shower designs that require me to solve like an escape room to figure out how to get the water to come out of the shower head. But then sometimes people are like, you know, why did the restaurant laminate its menu? And I'm like, who cares? It's not an interesting question. It's not that I'm upset I don't know the answer. It's just like, why are you bogging down the conversation with stuff that has no meat on the bone, bro? It's easier to wipe down. Why are you wiping down the menus, though? Who's spilling on the menus? Human beings are nasty. See, this is why, like, I mean, I guess it's just conversational acumen. This is why I'm like, don't ask about the laminated menus, bro, because now we're out here talking about, like, human beings are gross. Here's one thing that I would say. Why do half of the Italian restaurants on the planet have pizzas in the appetizer section? Like, that, to me, that's the sort of thing where we can get into a real meat and potatoes level discussion of, like, I wonder why they would do that. Maybe we could learn something about it. Because to me, pizza's not really like an appetizer. You could share it, but I don't consider it an appetizer. I consider pizza an entree for sure. Also, I understand where Dan's coming from with the bit. I couldn't disagree more, man. One of the great joys in life is ordering an appetizer with your meal. It's my favorite course, dude. Chibli, I saw you posting earlier. Chibli, are you here? What's your favorite course? What are the courses? It depends how fancy the restaurant is, but you know, at a minimum, appetizer, entree, dessert, maybe soup salad. I'm gonna not include the amuse-bouche because it's inconsistent. And if I'm being honest with you, even if we include the amuse-bouche, the appetizer clears the amuse-bouche. Advantages to the amuse-bouche, it's novel. Disadvantage to the amuse-bouche, it's not tested. The appetizer menu is tested. They know that the stuff on there it pleases people when they order it. The amuse-bouche is always like, hey, the chef had extra Dijon mustard, so we made a Dijon mustard foam on top of like a marinated button mushroom. And you're like, I didn't order this. I ordered the damn chicken wings. The only problem with an appetizer is that you need everybody at the table to be on the same page, or at least like a plurality. So if you're out to dinner with like 4 people and 3 of them only get the entree and you're the only dude with an appetizer, you're like, because you're like sitting there eating the calamari or something like that. Well, everybody else is like, oh, now our entrees are probably under a heating lamp in the back just waiting for this dude to finish up his fucking squid. Appetizers are a waste of money? Why, they taste good, though. If you're at the restaurant to begin with, you already lost. Might as well have fun with it. Appetizer as a side, then? Yeah, but some situations are not appropriate for that. Like, I get it if you're like, you know, appetizer onion rings versus paying the upcharge to have it alongside your burger, but no one's going to be like, hey, give me the pork chop, and can I get a side of the charcuterie plate? Jello shots before dinner. You don't hear too much about Jello shots these days. I guess it's because I'm not a teenager. I made Jello shots in university. Even as an idiot, even as an idiot, I will tell you, value proposition is idiotic. They don't taste good. There's a lot of preparatory work that goes into making them. Like, I mean, you have to make the jello. It's not that big of a deal, but you're like, you don't have to make jello to just have a beer. You can take a shot in like 0.2 seconds. I hope that's in my favor, because that's what I'm getting at. Like, if the main reason you're making the jello shots is just to get drunk anyway, because I'm assuming you're not making like bespoke fucking like hoity-toity haute cuisine jello shots, you should just drink the alcohol, man. And then, I don't know, give the jello to your grandma or something. Yeah, and you're right, there's a level of like chemistry to it as well. If you use the wrong proportions of alcohol, then the jello shot doesn't set right, and it's like you're not getting the jello-ness, you're just getting like the flavor of the powder, but you're like, why am I, like, what are we doing here? It's fun, you get cool colors, works well for outdoor events. I'm just saying, I've never, after I made jello shots in my first year of university, I don't know if I ever saw jello shots again in the wild over the course of my entire life. Jello shots at a house party as an adult, that's crazy to me. Do you live in the Midwest? I'm just trying to come up with a reason. I'm trying to divide us. I do? Okay. Work happy hour? That might be the only reason that makes sense, because at least then you can take like an extra half hour at lunch, and if your boss is like, hey, why are you procrastinating? You're like, I'm not. I'm making the jello shots for the after work mixer. I'm just surprised at people going to bat for jello shots. I thought we were all going to be on the same page. Someone in chat said, I don't want to offend you, but how many girls did you hang out with in university? Plenty. And they were drinking all sorts of fucked up candy garbage, but they weren't drinking jello shots. It requires like a serious commitment to preparation that borders on alcoholism. Sometimes you don't know at noon if your ass is getting drunk at 8, bro. So what do? You keep a bottle of fucking like vanilla Absolute in your pantry or something like that for emergency situations. You're not out here doing jello shots. Some kind of strawberry infused liqueur or something like that, where like having 1 ounce of it gives you a headache for 2 days. There were jello shots at nearly every frat party. Different culture, man. We had a drink at our school called Purple Jesus, and it was just any kind of alcohol you could conceive of, dumped in a bucket mixed with purple juice of any variety. At my school, people were just like, you know, they were drinking games, but they didn't make the production of the alcohol into a game. You taped 40s to your hands, way classier. I didn't say anything about class. Did I ever say not jungle juice? Did I ever say that jello shots were trashy? Maybe I thought it to myself. If you're like middle-aged and you're taking jello shots, I'd be like, yeah, it's kind of a red flag to me, but it'll evaluate the totality of your character, not just your beverage choices. You implied it? No, I didn't. You have mental illness. You're shadow boxing right now. You did say it bordered on alcoholism. Well, it honestly, like I feel like he's got me in the spin cycle. If you're having jello shots semi-frequently, that is, I can't responsibly say it's alcoholism, but I would say that it sends a troubling message. Like, bro, you're like preparing to get drunk already. Like you're treating it like it's a sporting event, like it's game day. Like you're like, hey, you want to come get lunch? Oh, I can't. I'm like spending an hour and a half making the shots that I'm going to drink later tonight. Didn't you just do that 2 weeks ago? It's college. I honestly, like, this is not fair, but honestly, arguing against 7,000 people at once isn't fair to begin with. So, like, I have to use some rhetorical techniques. I think you're LARPing. I could see having jello shots and being like, oh, they were okay. The kinds of people who are going to bat for jello shots like it's some kind of cultural touchstone, I don't think you've ever had them. You got me, kid? Surely when you're older, you're more likely to make them because it's less frequent. No, when you're older, you just have like a beer. 95% of the time? No, motherfucker, 100% of the time. Maybe 99.5% of the time. If I was having lunch with my aunt and she was like, I made jello shots last night, I'd be like, are you okay? That's scary, bro. I didn't realize jello shots were such a sacred cow, man. What other elements of like 80s college stoner comedies do you like? Are you guys still going on panty raids and stuff like that? Other shit that should be left behind in a bygone era? That's not fair, NL. That's not. I told you it's a rhetorical technique. Tennis daughter or pickleball son? Either would be fine. I would have to go pickleball son. I think for someone who's not played pickleball, I just have to say I am a pickleball defender because I think it's the most unfairly maligned sport on planet Earth. And you know, I think the other thing that strikes me about it is the real problem is the hypocrisy. I know there's hypocrisy because people talk shit about pickleball and then they come into my chat and say something like, I wanted to play pickleball, it looks really fun. But I don't want to do it because the main player base is over the age of 50. Hey, I've always wanted to go to Red Lobster, but I don't really like seafood. What the fuck are you talking about? This is why I say it's disingenuous, bro. Yeah, that was a great smash there, I'll give you that. Chat's not going to like it, but you're right. I mean, the people out there playing pickleball, they're just living their life, bro. Just cut them some slack. There's nothing more serious about it than that. Pickleball is tennis for people with no pulse. It's literally just a game. I don't understand why you're trying to divide us. They're living their lives very loudly in residential areas. What do you mean residential areas? Aren't people supposed to do hobbies like where they live? You know, if we're going to live in this like carless utopia that you're all prognosticating, like you're going to have to deal with some people doing some stuff that annoys you in your presence, because otherwise, right now they got to drive to the fucking pickleball zoned section of Springfield. No, it's not zoned for pickleball here. You're gonna have parks and shit in your neighborhood, bro. Kids are gonna be like skateboarding. They're gonna be bouncing basketballs and stuff like that. I don't know. It's the anti-pickleball discourse is just crazy to me. Like, you could just say, like, you hate old people and be honest about it. At least I wouldn't respect the opinion, but I would respect the honesty. Okay, there you go. Now they're saying it. Just be careful. You know that Twitch can and will use that against you when determining appropriate penal action on your account. Origin, back me up on this one. A lot of Twitch discourse reminds me of that comic that's like, it's a dude with his hands in his pockets whistling, and then an arrow is pointing to him that says normal guy, and then there's a craven-looking gremlin-type guy that's like, I hate everyone. It reminds me of that a little bit. Like, why the pickleball hate, man? They're just out there getting a little cardio. I think people, like, you know, they're of the opinion they would rather have other people outside, like, making no noise at all. I know the truth of that, which is that basically they're outsourcing the nuisance to me. Because if you're in... Oh, what a serve. If you're inside making no noise that bothers other people, you're probably in my chat pissing me off. For many of you, I'd rather that you were outside, you know, blasting a speaker or something right now. You're doing a service? Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to... I don't know. People... I'm just one guy, okay? I'm just one guy with one guy's opinion. I feel like part of the erosion of social fabric, comes from like not leaving your house, but being trained to have an opinion on things despite not encountering them in the real world. It's not always true. You could have a disagreement with me on something that we both have lived experience of, but we really got kids in like the 10th grade out there that got strong opinions about, you know, pickleball. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Go outside, you know, go to the pickleball courts, look at your fellow man getting some exercise, having some fun. It'll put a smile on your face, and we'll be closer as a result. Like, my perception, because I've been out and about so much more since having a kid, because staying inside makes me go crazy. Nobody hates the outside more than the people who aren't outside, which doesn't make sense. And all they complain about is the stuff that's going on outside. And I'm like, you're not there, man. Don't you hate it when people, when they're in the park and the Bluetooth speakers and the, like, I'm at the park right now, there's no Bluetooth speakers. Why are you making up something to get mad at? Well, you have like your soy milk latte. Just come out to the park, get some vitamin D. We'll have a great time. I mean, we won't talk to each other, but we'll have a great time. Well, it depends. If you bring your kid to the park as well, if our kids interact, I might say, how old is your child? And then, you know, I mean, that's pretty much, that's usually the end of the conversation at that point. I was thinking about it today, and I think I'm paraphrasing a tweet that's like, something like, you ever look at somebody's profile and they have 0 followers, but they still tweet? Like, why don't you just buy a diary? So, sometimes I feel like that on social media when I see someone post something insane, then I click on their profile to see how I avoid going down the same path that they went down. And I'm like, you really tweeted like 4 times since the tweet that made me mad that you tweeted 37 minutes ago, and every single one of the tweets is on like a different subject? That's crazy, bro. Like, I feel like if you look at a 5-year average of someone's Twitter history, if you average more than 3 tweets a day, not replies, maybe you're using replies for something, but if you average more than 3 tweets a day over a 5-year period, you need to speak to a psychiatrist. If you average more than 10 tweets a day over like a 3-month period, you need to be committed to the hospital. There's no, and there are, 10 is like fairly low. Like there's people out there that are tweeting like 40 times a day to 6 people. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, why do you have so many opinions? It's kind of exhausting. And I'm like a professional opinion haver. Why it's not time consuming? You got me backwards. I just think something has to be like kind of askew mentally to seek that much attention out directly. I will also understand that I'm a little biased because I get attention that I don't want, largely from the Pokemon community. So I guess like the grass is always greener on the other side, but there's an element for me of like, you know, you have anonymity. You should enjoy it. You shouldn't be trying to go viral. Like, don't you hate it when they use an end piece on your sandwich at the sandwich store? This is ridiculous. Some of us don't like end pieces. You should just become a writer or something, become a poet. I know we're way down here. I don't see any reason I can't come back. Should probably just untilt and stop getting into arguments with my chat. But it takes 2 to tango. You guys got to stop arguing with me as well. You know, I had like a revelation. This is why I'll never take psychedelics. I started thinking to myself, why do people in chat argue so much? And I realized it's because arguing is fun. Like, I'm getting into arguments and like letting my emotional state be affected when you motherfuckers who are arguing most vehemently against me probably agree with me. But you're like, you know, it's just fun to be like, I want to be involved. The thing that you said that I agree with, actually the opposite is true. It is very annoying though. But also being annoying is fun. I wouldn't know because I've never been a younger sibling, but I can only gauge that based on the behavior of others that I observe. Is this self-gaslighting? See, look, there's an example of someone who's having fun being annoying. Tell me I'm wrong, bro. Tell me I'm wrong. Most of it is take farming. I will tell you straight up, I'm not take farming. Almost ever. And that's what annoys me. Because I'm like, I feel like the reason that I'm insane is because society is insane. And by what I mean by that, I think we touched upon it last week. I got the wrong brain at birth because I use rhetoric and reason to determine my behavior when what I should have done and what like 92% of society does is easier. You just observe the behavior of those around you and go, oh, I'm going to do that. But then if you start questioning habits that people have that they generated from mimicry, they start to say things like, you can't talk about this. I hate this discussion, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm just asking questions like, why can't Richie Tenenbaum be in love with his stepsister, bro? I get that it's not done. I have eyeballs just like you. I'm just saying, like, why is it not okay for Richie Tenenbaum, bro? They're not blood related. And then people start, they throw in ad hominem attacks. Oh, we found out his fetish. No, you didn't. You found out that your argument is weak, that you're resorting to personal attacks to try to defeat it. I just can't, I mean, if you could hit me with some reasoning beyond it's not done, the blood relation doesn't matter, they're still siblings. You would not catch me saying the blood relation doesn't matter. That's Fallen Flame. You take it up with them. There's no reason, it's just strange. All right, well, as long as we're starting on the same page, don't date your sibling, LOL. See, this, again, why are you so afraid to argue the point? Are you afraid you might discover something about yourself? That's not the point. You're arguing beside the point. It's like wearing 3 hats. CEO of analogies. Power dynamic issue. What do you, power dynamic? It's not stepfather. That's a fucked up situation. That's like some Woody Allen shit. I'm talking about Richie Tenenbaum. They're like the same age. Gwyneth Paltrow might even be a little bit older, bro. We're back on this. See, I win the argument because you can't argue. It's just we're still on this. Isn't he over this yet? I thought we discussed this already. Don't do it. Like nobody can argue the point, bro. I'm saying Richie Tenenbaum. I'm giving him the base seal of approval. Now, would I do it? No, it's not done. You'll be judged. You'll be mocked. Power dynamics. Okay, no, I know what you're saying. It's only okay if they were born at exactly the same time. Then the stepsister and the stepbrother can ethically be in a relationship with what a serf. I was yapping. He got me. Honestly, we had a stat advantage over this person and they beat us. They're just the superior player. Don't mix familial and romantic. Yeah, but you didn't... do people let you talk like this in real life? Am I the only motherfucker who took an English class? That's not a point, man. Why? And you're saying, well, why didn't you ask why? I'm asking why. Don't just say it's not done. What's the reason it's not done? You can say because the vibes are off. That's fine. I'll accept that. Because it's weird? Okay, but why is it weird? Why are the vibes off? I agree the vibes are off. I just think like, it's the same thing where you ask somebody like, boom, gun to your head, cut off your penis or cut off your balls. And they're like, I would simply use martial arts to take the weapon away from the attacker. No, you can't. It's a special gun. It's glued to their hand, okay? You can't do it. Well, I would move my head out of the way faster than the bullet. You can't. You're locked in a saw trap that keeps your head immobile. Like why don't you just answer the question? You chopping off your cock, you chopping off your balls. I'm going cock, 100%. I can't stand to lose these guys. I almost lost them once before. Answer the question. Don't be a coward. I'm trying. Oh, man. Cock grows back, so it makes sense. People aren't ready for that yet. It's true, though. You just rub some crystals on it. You know, I also feel like I stopped feeling bad for killing spiders. It's like just losing empathy because of the fact that they keep invading my personal space and thus I have to kill them. Then aren't spiders like one of those creatures where when they reproduce, the female spider grabs the male spider's head and rips it off of his body? That's only a few species. Because like I've been thinking about that when I kill a spider. I'm like, it's not like I really cost them that much. I'm like, he probably would have just been going home to get his head popped off anyway. His clock was, it's not like he was about to have like, you know, a rich 30-year life after I didn't smush him, you know? He's like, hi, honey. Whoa, really? It's true. They do also have like 100 at a time. Why is saying the vibes are off better than saying it's weird? Because I feel like the vibe speaks to like a fundamental principle. Your amygdala is telling you that something it's making you uneasy. Something being weird is an inference made from the frequency with which you see it in society, which may be indicative of it not being something that should be done, or it might just be something that's not done because it's never been done before. The vibes, I feel like, comes from a place deep inside of your brain, whereas weird comes from the world around you. I try to come up with my behavior from the inside out instead of the outside in. Imagine if you got divorced, though. Bro, you're right. So awkward. Your ex-wife's at Christmas every year. Urgh. And like your parents might be on her side. That's a good, but honestly, that's the actual, people think I'm joking. That's the actual best argument so far against the Richie Tenenbaum, Margot Tenenbaum situation. That could screw up their whole family dynamic for sure. People have been making that argument for 2 hours. Well, speak up, Junior. Lots of other people were just saying it's weird. You got to tell those people to shut up so that the great ideas can rise above. How do you explain to your kid that your brother is also your nephew? You don't have to, because he's not your nephew. He's your son. But you're his dad? Yeah, that's why he's your son. Here, let me see. It was a long message. I have half siblings. I've had step siblings. They were all family. Once that relationship is formed, it's weird. But if you're older, you're like, yeah, your parents got married, but we were nearly adults. Not weird. Maybe it's something, maybe my amygdala is broken because I never had siblings. But for me, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it feels like to have a brother or a sister. I don't know what it feels like to have a brother, a stepbrother or a stepsister. All I see is like Luke Wilson, Gwyneth Paltrow. They're not related. He's related to Owen Wilson. And she's related to her daughter, I suppose. Did you not have close cousins? Nah, my cousins and I aren't really close. We try more now, but it's tough because 7 of them live in my hometown and I live 5,000 kilometers away. So I'm always kind of like the Johnny come lately to the dynamic. Having kids has made it a little easier though. We've all got kids around the same age. So if we're at like a family event, then, we just kind of push the kids into the center and then talk about how tired we are. I got one thing's for sure. I'm going to close Topspin. I may never open it ever again. Yo, opinions on Chibli being in the new Twitch tweet promoting their Clips feed feature. Mike King, Chibli Nation, we're back up. Why no Topspin? It's not done. The vibes are off. It's weird. It gives me an uneasy feeling. You can't just say that. Oh. I don't, because I hear the sink. So I know she's doing the dishes. It becomes a very delicate situation. So I can't go up there and be like, are you going to go live? Because then she's going to have the moral high ground and she's going to be like, yeah, as soon as I finish the dishes. And I'm going to be like, this is very hard to counter that. There's no counter you can run there. You have to basically sack the point and say, thank you so much. Offer to finish them. You guys aren't married, are you? If you're 80% of the way through a chore, you don't want the other person to come in and say, I'll do the last 20%. Because then you get the problem is you did 80, but now you're sharing the chore 50-50. What you want to do, if you've already done 80, you want to finish it to 100 so that the other person is one chore in debt, and then they have to do that one 0 to 100. I know it's same thing for me too. If I wash 20 dishes and then there's 2 left, I don't want someone to come in and be like, I got those. I'm like, no, you go I don't know, clean the gutters or something like that. There's a certain economy to it that you got to pay attention to. If that's married life, we have to abolish the institution. One day, your ideals will come in contact with the friction of real life, and you'll be forced to compromise on all these hardline issues that you've taken on complete mundane banalities that the human brain was not designed to ponder. You may say to yourself, NL was right. NL was smarter than I thought he was. When I was 20, NL was the stupidest person I've ever seen. When I was 30, I was surprised how much the old man had learned in just 10 years. Nah, man, there's no one for me, one for you in marriage. If stuff has to get done, just get it done. It's naive, Purple Phil. I think it's naive of you. There's an ebb and a flow. What you do is you make the ebb and the flow work for you. Because you got it looking like, oh, it's like a debt for debt situation. No. It can be a surplus for surplus situation as well. You could be like, hey, out of nowhere, I got you a great gift. And then the other person is one gift away from being in the gift surplus. And you can transmute the gift, depending on its monetary value, maybe like 3 or 4 chores. There's a chore to gift ratio that can work as well. And there's a gift to chore ratio that can work as well. But you got to find the counterparty for the trade. That's the thing. There's no like market for it. You have to set it at the time of the transaction. Most common marriage argument, having too much to do and both parties being tired and being like, we have to do it, but I'm tired. And then the other one is like, yeah, but I'm tired too. That's probably the most common, I would have to say. And dinner if you have a spine. But because I don't have a spine and I just love eating, that one never comes up. We don't have a dinner argument. Instead, I'm just like, that sounds good. Just take the sushi. Taking the sushi gives you some inertia tokens. If you get enough inertia tokens, you can redeem it for one chore. But you got to make, it's like a Dave & Buster's one. You got to have like 20 inertia tokens in order to redeem it for one chore. Like it's the exchange rate is kind of fucked. But I don't think you can redeem it for gifts though. I don't know. I don't have that kind of cachet. Okay, I will send you over to my wife's stream. That is, unfortunately, is worth nothing. No amount of raids equals a chore. Trust me, I've tried. We'll be back tomorrow. Guess we'll check out the new Balatro patch. See you then.
Yo, man, open up.
Yo!
Open up, man.
What do you want, man?
My girl just caught me.
You let her catch you?
I don't know how I let this happen.
With who?
The girl next door, you know.
Man!
I don't know what to do.
Say it wasn't you!
All right. Honey came in, she caught me red-handed, creeping with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom floor. How could I forget that I had given her an extra key? All this time she was standing there, she never took her eyes off me.
Why you fucking me out while I pillar? Let's press her and a witness for the king of pillar. You better watch your back before she turns into a killer. Let's review the situation, you get caught in her. To be a true player, you have to know how to play. If she say it like a bitch, day. Never been to a world when she say. And she claims that well, you tell her, baby, no way.
But she caught me on the counter.
Wasn't me.
Saw me banging on the sofa.
Wasn't
I
me.
even had her in the shower.
Wasn't me.
She even caught me on camera.
Wasn't me.
Saw the marks on my shoulder.
Wasn't me.
Heard the words that I told her.
Wasn't me.
Heard the scream getting louder.
Wasn't me.
She stayed until it was over. I need to find the low part. Yeah, she caught me red-handed, creeping with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom floor. I had tried to keep her from what she was about to see. Why should she believe me when I told her it wasn't me?
And you know that you're really out of sex. Take a low flex. A bloody hell's a favorite complex. Please believe me, better change your specs. You know she's a go bring a whole heap things from the past. And all the better is to know low-fi bass. Quick sponge out to know how to talk. But if you ask a gun, you know you better run fast.
But she caught me on the counter.
Wasn't me.
Saw me banging on the sofa.
Wasn't me.
I even had her in the shower.
Wasn't me.
Caught me on. Someone said he sounds like Batman on drugs. It got me so
Wasn't
good.
me. It's not me.
She stayed until it was over.
It's not me.
Honey came in and she got me red-handed, creeping with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom floor. How could I forget that I had given her an extra key? All this time she was standing there, she never took her eyes off me. Gonna tell her that I'm sorry for the pain that I've caused. I I've been listening to your reason, it makes no sense at all. We could tell her that I'm sorry for the pain that I've caused. You may think that you're a player, but you're completely lost. That's why I sing, honey came in and she caught me red-handed, creeping with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom floor. How could I forget that I had given her an extra key? All this time she was standing there, she never took her eyes off me. That was incredible, Sips, thank you.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
I was hoping I would have one Shaggy part, though. Turns out it didn't matter too much, whether or not I could do the Shaggy voice or not.